Okay. Hi, I am Amber Ivy, your Ruby ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and I'm going to do a quick training video on how to stay consistent. And these are like 5 secrets that you can use to stay consistent. And I'll try to talk slowly, although that's like my weakest thing to do. I'm like horrible at that. But I'll recap what the 5 points are at the end. So the first one that you're going to want to do is you're going to keep an eye on your why. And that's so important. And I know that we've preached this over and over, but you need to have your why. You need to have it written down. You need to have it in the forefront of your mind. Have a vision and keep reminding yourself of why you want to do this, like why you started up. Sometimes it's going to change because I've said this a million times. For me, it changed. I started because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Of course, I wanted to lose weight, but then it changed to being able to help others. So it's okay if your why changes. Just keep it in the forefront of your mind. In other words, like for an example, if you're saving money for a vacation, it's really easy to save money for a vacation when you know why you're saving it. Or if you're saving it to buy a brand new pair of shoes that you've been wanting, that's your why. And it's just that simple. So keep that in the forefront. So the number 1 deal is to keep an eye on your why. Revise it anytime it changes. I have a Word document and I'll go in and like change it up. So just go in there and change it, take stuff out that doesn't apply or leave it and then say, and then it evolved into whatever your new why is. Your number 2 is going to be to pick your battle. One of the examples they gave was if somebody who is trying to quit sugar. I don't know why I'm saying I never do that. If you're trying to quit sugar, but you're also a smoker and you want to quit smoking too, super hard for you to quit both of those things at the same time, or any 2 major topics that you're trying to get rid of out of your system or your body or habits. It's hard to do that at the same time. So try to stick with one thing, pick it, make a habit of it, and tackle it. In other words, if you're wanting to consistently post on Facebook, literally write that down. Say, every Monday I'm going to post on Facebook, and keep that your main topic. Pick your battle. Something that you don't like to do, try to stick with it. Like, for instance, working out. I've been going in the morning, every morning this week, doing cardio, and then in the evenings I'll meet my husband and do weights. And if like I have to plan it, I put my clothes out the night before because it's really easy for me to say, oh, I just want to hang out. So that for me is a battle. So pick your battles and stick with them. Okay, so that was number 2, pick your battle. Number 3 is schedule it. Everyone that's had the Franklin Covey planners, those were big like in the 80s and 90s. Stephen Covey said this, and I think it's so important. And you might want to write this down. I wrote it down. Don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities. So just let that kind of like simmer. Don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities. When you're trying to be consistent, you want to build your life around it and not try to fit it in. So if you're trying to be consistent with working out, you make it work. You write it down in your planner. You say, I'm going to work out at 9 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And treat it as though it was a doctor's appointment that you can't miss. And if you feel the need, if you're like, oh my gosh, if I miss that, they're going to charge me. That kind of idea, like make it a priority instead of just saying, well, hopefully I'll probably work out tomorrow. I'm just using that as an example, but whatever it is, if you're saying I want to work my Plexus business an hour a day, that's all I've got. That's all I can give it. Schedule it. Put it on your planner. Put it on a Post-it note. Hey, Cindy. Put it on your, just put it somewhere where you can see it. Because if you don't schedule it, chances are you probably won't do it. So stick with it, come hell or high water. When you're trying to be consistent, you want to build your life around it. So that was number 3, schedule it. Number 4, this is going to sound weird, so let me just say it and then I'll explain. Ignore your feelings and ignore that voice in your head that says, oh, I just cannot stand like posting all this stuff about Plexus. I can't stand following up with customers. I'm not good on a computer. I can't stand texting people because they never respond. Ignore that voice. Treat it as though it was a person feeding negativity into your mind and just go, you know what, stop. Like, bye, Felicia. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to ignore the feelings. Like when you're trying to do something consistently, whether it's the gym, your job, Plexus, we need to train our brain to override that voice in our head that tells us not to do something. The deeper part of us knows we really want to do it. So try to focus on connecting to that part of your body, that part of your brain that says, this is something I want to do. For instance, I want to rank up. I want to have $500 in PB this month. I want to have $1,000. I want to have $100 so that my auto qual doesn't go out. Make that the focus and ignore the feelings that tell you, oh gosh, I'm so tired this morning. I don't want to get online. I don't want to follow up with those customers. Hopefully they'll order. We'll just play it by ear. So ignore the negativity. And the more you ignore it, the more the positive you will come out. So that's kind of the ignore your feelings. Just shove that part of it down, the negativity, and go with it. So that's number 4, ignore your feelings. And number 5 is catch that wagon. Don't think that you're a total failure if you fall off the wagon. If you've written down, okay, Friday morning for 30 minutes, I'm going to sit here and do nothing but Plexus. And all of a sudden you wake up and your child's sick. You wake up and you have a flat tire. You wake up and you just don't feel like it. And today you're like, you know what, I can't. I have too much stuff to do. I can't do it. Run, catch the wagon, and jump on it. Success does not come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. So if you can train yourself to be consistent, if you have a day where it's kind of like when you do, another analogy, when you don't work out at the gym and you wake up that morning and you're like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to go, but I couldn't do it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Pull your calendar out and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to get on the wagon and keep going. And again, that kind of goes back to number 4, ignore your feelings. Don't beat yourself up. We all have those days. So those were the top 5. And then I'm just going to kind of give you another little deal that I wrote up. If you just want a few customers to make enough to cover your products, that's great. If you want to retire your husband and buy a dream house, awesome. What is the common denominator between these two things? It's consistency. This is your business. You're the CEO, and all of the success comes from you, not your upline, your downline, your sideline. You get the point. It's your responsibility to make the mistakes, to make the calls, to post on Facebook, to educate yourself, and to get to the events. No one's checking up on you to see if this is being done. You are an independent ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and the business is proven to work. The products are proven to work. You didn't accidentally join Plexus. You weren't mistakenly put on this team. I believe that you guys were all meant to be here, and I encourage you to grab a hold of what's in front of you, and it's the opportunity of a lifetime. Be consistent with your follow-up and create a system that works for you. For me, Mondays are my follow-up. That's when I contact customers to see if they got their orders, how they're doing, or if they're current customers and they've been on the same product for a while. I'll go to them and say, hey, have you ever tried, changing it up and trying this? And they're like, oh, that sounds good. You'd be surprised the kind of people that would order something from you just from calling them and wanting to change up the way it works for them. This new thing is being consistent with 3-way calls. Like, I'm totally implementing this, and if you guys want to jump on board with your own team or if you want to involve me, that's fine. When you sign up new people, I would love to do a 3-way with them. I know Heather's saying the same thing, so if y'all would rather do with her, that's fine. If you want to do with me, that's fine. I think it's really important that we get another face out there so that they know that that you're their sponsor. But if for some reason they hop on the team page and they have a question and one of the upline people answer, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember talking to her. And it's going to build your credibility with your customers and your ambassadors as well. Okay, be consistent with appealing to all the 4 colors of the MLMs. That one, I'm going to do a separate talk on that, so ignore that for now. Be consistent with sharing your love for the products. That kind of goes back to the video I posted this past week where I was talking about sharing something that you're passionate about, or if you got a new purse or whatever. Just be consistent talking about your love of the products. Be consistent with keeping your promises. If you are telling your people, let's say, okay, I'm going to promise that I'm going to get with you. We're going to do a Zoom call on this. Stick with it. Be consistent in all of your business. That's the main objective. And with leading your people, be consistent. That's something I've failed at, and I can own that. And so I want to be consistent with leading and doing more Zoom calls. And then also be consistent with investing in your people and taking the time to look at the people who are producing, and helping you rank up, and go to them and say, what can I do? What else can I do to help you? Is there anything that you need that maybe I'm not giving you? Would you like to do a 3-way call? A lot of women are really awful at asking for help. especially in a business like this. So take advantage of, and you know the people that you signed up and you know their personalities. So try to cater to those personalities. The people that kind of tend to stay in the background and they won't ask for help. But if you go to them, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called me. Yes, please help. You know, go after those people and talk to them, figure out what you can do to help them. And Cindy, I'm taping this. So the first 3 that you missed was keep an eye on your why. So I'm just kind of do a little recap. Have a clear vision of your why and why you want to do the business and keep it in the forefront. And I was telling everyone to kind of revise their why if it changes. So like, for example, it's easy to save money if you know what you're saving it for. So it kind of tends to motivate you to do that. Number 2 is pick your battle. So if you have one thing that you really want to do, pick that one thing that might be negative to you, like working out or trying to do your business consistently, and stick with it and tackle it. And then number 3 was schedule it. And that was the one that Franklin Covey, that company that used to do planners, they still do. Stephen Covey said, don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. So when you're trying to be consistent, you want to build your life around it and not try to fit it in. So that's kind of what I did to rally myself to Ruby, is that I sort of just went nuts. I started calling people. I know Cindy was one of them that I messaged her and I was like, okay, what about this person? What about this person? And we all got on the phone and kind of did stuff. Dina helped, Sherry, and all of you guys helped do that. And so many months I would be like, gosh, I don't want to ask people for that because I feel like I'm, you know, hey, I want to rank up, come help me. But when I saw what it was doing and when I saw that the ambassadors that I have that were inactive, and I went after them and I was like, hey, you know, I know you love the products to begin with and you haven't been active in a while. Is there any way that I could persuade you to try to order something and get back on the wagon? Like 3 girls were like, oh, I'm so glad you messaged me. I need to get back on Plexus. And they're active this month. So you never know until you ask. So that's kind of the deal. It's super fast, but I recorded it. But it's how to stay consistent. So that's one thing that I'm trying to do in my life. And for now, it's the working out, because I can find a million excuses not to. But we've gotten back into it. Cameron knows that now in the morning, Mommy and Cameron are going to go to the gym. And so that was my one battle, and I tackled it. So just consistency is completely, it's the key to your business. It's the key to ranking up, to making that PV, to getting more money each month, and to helping others. I mean, if you stay consistent, contacting your customers and your ambassadors and finding out what their needs are and what you can do to change it, it's huge. I wish that I had that mindset back when I started. I wish that I could have been able to go to all those customers in the beginning and say, look, here's the way I did it, but you can take the products however you want. But to me, it was like, here's exactly how I did it. Try this. And when it didn't work for them, they just stopped. Like, I never followed up because I was so inundated and so busy with the business. I didn't know what I was doing. So just that's another, like, a big point that I want you guys to take away from this. When you get those customers and they get started on the product, you know, follow through with them. Ask them what they're experiencing. Ask them if you can change it up. We can always change it up. Like, that's my main, like, little selling point when I tell people, you know, I'm not going to explain to you how I did it. I'm just going to tell you we can always mix it up and change it up. So that's another, you know, big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And then if you guys have questions, let me know.